Just be saying things. I like it when you say these things, but I think you
What up, y'all? It's Asadah. You already know. Saying things. I love that song. Check it out. We're dealing with Asadah Says, so you already know what the deal is. And guess what? We talking to the maker of that song today, Anthony Turner. But don't go anywhere because before we start, I got to introduce you to the female solution. Why? Because that's why we here, all right? Let's don't go nowhere. We'll be right back after these quick introductory messages, and then we're going to get it in. We're going to have a ball. Stay tuned. Don't you go nowhere. Peace.
Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talents, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the female solution.
Oh, there's so much I can talk about today. The person I'm bringing on is one of my craziest friends ever. And, I don't really know anybody like this. I know people similarly, as we can see this month of August on Asadah Says, is dealing with get it, Black travelers. But man, when you think Black man, a lot of times you think barriers, problems. There's no Black men. Oh, get out of here. Today we're going to show the total polar opposite of that. Ooh, polar. He might have even went there too. Let's bring on my friend Tony Tylen. Tony Tylen. What's up, Tony Tylen? How are you,
What's going on? How are you?
Man, I'm so glad you're here. Talking to you is actually fun. It's I know you're a stress coach, but because of your craziness, you're actually a stress reliever. Like, oh, that's great. So we're going to experience that today in so many ways. So everybody, if you notice, you were like, Tony, what'd she say? He thought I was saying Tony Turner at one time. No, I'm saying Tony Tylen because he lived in Thailand, guys. So brother, talk to us a little bit about all this. Like, why? That's like the first question. You've traveled to 97 countries and counting. I don't think you've stopped. I guess I wanted to say why. I don't really want to say anything after that. Why do you think you do this? You go around the world in such a way.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. And you're my fun, crazy friend too. And I appreciate you including me in your podcast streaming here this morning and thinking enough of me to have me on. I'm curious. I'm curious. And I know there's more out there. And so that's what started it all. My favorite book in elementary school was Curious George. And he was always looking under the rocks and over there and what's over here. And it all started because my mom, we traveled as a family. We drove to Alabama from Omaha, which is like a 17-hour drive. And we would drive everywhere. Periodically, we would fly. But more than anything, we would drive because there were a lot of us growing up. And so eventually I started an inspirational choir after a race riot in my high school. And we were elected to represent the United States at this International Youth Music Festival in Japan. I think I was 16 or 17 years old. So that was my first international trip. And it took 17 hours to get to Japan. So that changed the way I thought about things, because I was like, if it takes 17 hours to get to Alabama, or I could get on a plane and go halfway around the world, where else can I go for 17 hours or less? And that created a monster because I've been going ever since.
Wait. So here's the deal, y'all. So there's the traveling. But then you have to have a certain mindset for that, because I'm going to tell you, my daughter's high school, right? They have planned this trip to Japan. And do you know that the parents were afraid to let the children go on the trip? Like I was the only parent that was like fundraising, and they didn't want their kids to leave. So there's this fear component, particularly if were your parents world travelers or no?
My mom was a missionary. She traveled, but not so much. Like she'd gone to Germany, and we'd gone. My dad drove for Greyhound bus, so he was always
Okay.
on the road. I
Okay.
don't think we had as many inhibitions about leaving or going or exploring. Two of my brothers were in the military, and they were stationed overseas, so it wasn't so foreign.
Okay.
Like the idea of being away.
Okay. See, that's important to me because something about us as a people, there's a fear factor about a lot of things, but traveling, you got to kind of let go. Courage is a thing because you could be going to places where, uh, shoot, you don't know the language. There's all kind of perceptions of us as Black people. Um, Before we get into the nuts and bolts and meats of the stories, I just want to show a video that I love. You guys, this is like the beginning of our friendship, this energy for this video I'm going to show y'all. So I just got to show it because I just love it so much. Y'all just take a look. I'm going to move us to the side so we don't have no destruction.
Feels so good to be free. Feels so good to be authentic. Allow me. No boundaries, just free. I love being free. I love being free.
See? Y'all see? And that look, that how he gonna write that song? Number one. Don't y'all love when he take that hat off? Look, when I first saw that video, I was like, oh God, look at him taking that hat off. It looks wonderful. Ah. But yeah, but let's talk about that a little bit because that alludes to what I'm trying to express in terms of there's a courage that's needed, but then you have to have a mindset of that freedom to do all that you do. So I just want you to talk a little bit about what made you courageous enough to just do all that travel around the world.
So the truth is, as with anything we do that is unfamiliar, I think we all have our own set of anxieties or stressors, and I still have to coach myself out of the nervousness I feel sometimes when I travel anywhere new. I've been, like I said, to 97 countries and all 7 continents, and I went on a cruise about a month ago, I guess, I don't know, a month and a half ago, and it was I was going to Honduras. Yeah, and I still have anxiety about traveling. You know, am I going to make it? Is everything going to be okay? I mean, and the truth is, I've survived 100% of my worst days. So even if something does go wrong, I'll be okay. I'll figure it out because we always figure it out. And I think we tell ourselves stories about travel. It doesn't matter even if you're in your city, you're going to a new place. If you're at you're going to a new friend's house or a new associate's house or a new job, it's the same anxiety about anything that's new and different. And we have this awesome opportunity to coach ourselves and remind ourselves that we're gonna be okay. We've survived before, we'll survive again. And that doesn't matter if you're going around the corner to somewhere new, down to a new state, a new church, a new school, a new job, or a new city or a new country. It's all the same anxiety. And I think we have a beautiful opportunity to reframe it. And instead of calling it anxiety, we can call it excitement, because that changes your experience just by how you language something. So rather than the next time any of us feel nervous or those butterflies, reframe it. Say, oh, I'm excited. And it literally will change your experience. Your brain will argue the case and lawyer the case to find different ways that you're excited about it, rather than if you say I'm nervous or anxious. So the truth is, we're
I
going to
love
always
that.
experience it. And that's real physiological. That's real science.
Yeah, I love that because I'm hearing a thread. I had a sister on last week, Pearl Ramsey, and then I have another sister coming on this coming week. But I'm hearing a thread, and that's that I'm gonna figure it out. And I think people, that is what they get afraid of. Like, no. What would you say? Let me see if I should do best first or worst. What was your favorite country out of the 97 you've been to?
They rivals, Thailand and Switzerland.
Okay. Why?
I love nature, and both of them have such beautiful, raw, unadulterated nature,
Mm,
mountains and water and things that look like postcards. Um, in Switzerland, it's the beauty of it, how beautiful it looks. In Thailand, for me and so many, it's how beautiful it feels.
mm,
Switzerland looks cultivated and like someone like etched things, and it's perfect almost. And in Thailand, what you're looking at right there with there, it's a raw, unfiltered, unadulterated. It's like how God created it. If you believe in God, how it just naturally occurs. It's beautiful.
Yeah, because some of these pictures look just straight up magical.
That's
They
their
look they
yeah.
look enchanting. Like, wait, what? Well, look at those colors. Look at the lighting. Look at the formations. Like, there's so much. And speaking of Thailand, we do know. Well, I know, but I call you Tony Thailand. But you decided to live there. Talk about that a little bit and the why of settling there.
Yeah, a friend of mine started a travel company, and I was hosting a tour for the company over New Year's in Thailand. And I had gone to Thailand before, and I didn't particularly like it when I went before. I mean, I liked the experience, but not enough to consider living there.
Okay.
This time, a friend of mine said, if you're going for New Year's, go for Christmas and your birthday. Go a week early. My birthday is the day after Christmas. She said, go to a different city called Chiang Mai. And I was like, Chiang Mai, never heard of it. She said, it's up north, and you might enjoy it. So I went online, and she said there are a lot of Black-owned businesses. There are people there. There's community that is established at the Black-owned businesses, I said. So I looked online, and I saw that this group there was having a Christmas party. I reached out. They said I can come. I flew over there, and most everyone rides motor scooters over there, like we call them mopeds. And so I had a moped, I'd rent it, and the addresses there aren't the same as they are in the United States, where it's like one after the other, like in sequence. They're a little bit different. And so I couldn't find the address in this subdivision that I'd entered to the party. And I was about to give up, and something said, just close your eyes before you leave and give it one more try. I closed my eyes, and in the distance, I heard, doo, 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 doo. I said, wait a minute, that sounds familiar. I closed my eyes, and I heard, hooty hoo, and I followed the call of the drum beat. And then
Yeah.
eventually I listened, and I found the rhythm. I found the music. There was a big gate, and I rang the doorbell, and this gate opened. And it was like Mecca. It was like
Hey,
heaven. I saw people doing a wobble. They were
hey.
playing spades. They had dominoes. There was a big Christmas tree, and all these Black people and white people and Thai people and other people from all over the world. And I went in. They had some greens. They had fried chicken. They had Thai dishes. I was like, "Where am I?" And
Right.
they're like, "Welcome to Chiang Mai." And I never
Wow.
left. I went
I
back
love
12 times the next year. I rented an apartment because I found community. And I
Mm,
think that is the common thing that I have found. Doesn't matter where I am in the world, even if I'm at home, that
mm,
makes life worth living and
mhm.
experiences richer. And that is community. So whatever you like, whatever you're into, whatever you're interested in, there's a community out there looking for you. Your tribe exists. And in
Yeah.
that moment, I found my tribe because we were people who found one another in this other country, and we carved out a beautiful world there.
Nice, nice. I live vicariously through looking at all these pictures, and I'm like, this dude, I love your connection to the animal of the country. And I love your experience just capturing them. I noticed some of your photography, and I was like, this, as I just showed this picture, y'all, what's wrong with him? Look at this. What we doing? Hold up. Let me, what he doing right now? Talk about, where were you here?
I
Eating the
was
tail of the, were you in
tiger.
Thailand?
I was in Thailand. That was the first trip I went when I didn't say I didn't like it enough to move there. I was
Okay.
going on all the regular tours. I did the regular things. You know, you get the booklet. I was with a group of friends. There were about 20 of us, and we had fun with one another. And that trip, we went to Thailand and Cambodia. It was like
Got you.
2010 or 2011. I don't remember
Okay.
exactly. And we went to a place called Tiger Kingdom. I didn't realize that, anyway, I wouldn't do that now. But it was
Why?
fun then. Well, because there's been a lot of controversy about how they treat the animals and why they're
Um,
so calm.
um,
And so I probably wouldn't necessarily go
okay.
personally anymore. They were awake, the tigers were, and my heart was palpitating, especially when the tiger looked back at me. I was like, oh my God, I don't want to become tiger feed or food. So
Okay.
yeah, but it was a great experience. I'm glad I did it.
Cool. And then, I mean, come on now. Look at the brother laid out now. Come on. What we doing? Chilling in Egypt. How was that experience? The camel energy. Like, what I love, like I said, I love your connection with the animals, because see, that's another language that you kind of got to read them, because what do they feel about your interaction? And so talk a little bit about this moment I'm looking at here.
This was my first solo trip internationally, and I'd gone to 5 different countries on my own. I'm a part of this organization, or this group on Facebook called No Madness Travel
Okay.
Tribe, and again, it tells you kind of how to do it on your own, and it's
Mm.
helpful how to travel on your own. And I found Emirates had this deal where you could fly to Dubai for like $500,
Okay.
and then round trip. And then if you go to other countries, you can add different countries on for $100. So for this
Wow.
particular trip, I went to Egypt, Sri Lanka, and a couple other places. I think went to Maldives.
Mm.
Um, and it cost a total of like 900 or something dollars round trip. And yeah, this was my first experience. I'm an alpha, so this was really special for me, seeing the pyramids. I
Okay.
think my eye, I cried a little bit. I'm not even gonna lie, because I was overwhelmed. I was
Yep.
moved when I went there, because you're seeing something that you read about or heard stories about for years, and
Yeah.
you're right there at it. And it is moving. It was moving. It was a beautiful experience. And I've since been back by myself and with groups maybe 7 or 8 times since this picture.
Mm. Nice, nice. I said, look at this man capturing the vibe. There I go right now. Sada, baby, lioness. Let's go. Where were you here?
Here I think I was in Kenya on safari.
Okay.
And so I went to photography school in high school.
Hmm.
I took classes that was separate and off campus, and I love photography. And so this was either Tanzania, this particular elephant picture.
Okay.
So I've gone on
Perfect.
multiple safaris in Africa.
And I love that, like I said, because and I think the beautiful thing about going to Africa is kind of dispelling the myths. There are a ton of myths that we experience, or it's just like kind of like a fantastical thing. Like you said, yep, okay, you know how the brothers rock and alphas rock and looking like the pharaohs and this and that, but yo, you really get to do it. And I think when I know when I went to Africa, it was just sort of a, wait, what? What is happening? And one of my students said, not mom, they call me Miss K. Miss K. They were like, how come they didn't tell us this was paradise? And you don't really get that reality until you start to travel and until you start to experience these different things. And man, how, I guess that leads me to another question that I had was, how do you feel that this affected your character, experiencing these things? Because I would imagine, I mean, every time I travel, you come away with something new, maybe a new discovery about oneself. So how do you feel that this traveling, any stage of it, affected you and your character?
That's a deep question, I think. I want to take it a step back. When the
Hmm.
person who wrote in and talked about fear,
Hmm.
um, I think it's interesting how we um, determine how we feel about something based on other people's experiences.
Sure.
And so there's two things here. I think it's really important to have your own experience. And now, you know how somebody can say, oh, I don't like this particular person because they did this or they this or whatever. And you meet them, you're like, well, I have no problem with them. Or I don't like this restaurant. This food is nasty. And you go and you're like, I liked it. You know, I had that same group of travelers I talked about that I'm a part of. This group, we were trying to bid to host them, this national nomadness travel group, to come to Chicago. And a lot of people were like, oh, we're not going there because, you know, it's dangerous. We don't want to go. And these are Americans. Right there in America. But because of the propaganda and what they see on TV, they feel like it's real. And so when you go to Africa, you see why the people who took the land took it, because it's absolutely stunning. It's absolutely beautiful. It's rich. I mean, the picture, the video in the beginning that you saw, I was in Africa on the beach, white sand, beautiful blue waters. And you're like, oh my God, they've been lying to us. You know, I never saw the kid with flies and the hungry people that they show us about Africa. You know, so they create a narrative, and it's up to us to determine, to dispel that narrative by experiencing ourselves.
That's right.
The other thing I would say is really important to write down your dreams. I wanted to go on safari for so long. Speak your dreams out loud. I wanted to go on safari. I wanted to go and live overseas. I wanted to do all these things in my heart. I was terrified. That's the truth. I was dealing with the same fear or not knowing how it was going to happen. What I realized, though, is you can surrender some of that. For me, I surrendered it to God. I don't have to worry about the how. I just know what. All right. And for me, I wanted to go on safari. I've been on like 8 safaris now. I wanted to go and live overseas. I lived in multiple countries now. I ended up studying overseas. It's not for you to figure out all the details. It's for you to understand or determine what a dream looks like for you. So get some paper and write down, I want to go here. I want to meet people that make me feel like this. Focus on the feeling. I want to feel good when I travel. I want to be on a beach and I want to look at this. I mean, get as detailed as possible. And before you know it, you'll look around and realize you're living the life you prayed about. You're living the life of your dream. So that's how it changed my character. I realized that I am powerful and that we each are if we take advantage of what we have before us.
You know, in Scientology, we call that a postulate, baby. You put that postulate out there, baby. Boom. I'm going to be on that white sand. Boom. And you made me think of the sister last week who Pearl Ramsey talked about. Her why was really to experience God in different ways. And I was like, oh, wait a minute, what? And it was like to see what God has created for oneself.
Yes.
For oneself, you know, and that took it to a whole nother level for me, because it was like, wow, that conversation ain't about nobody and their opinions. That's about your acknowledgement of all the graciousness that's everywhere and how the people are shaped and the cultures are shaped. So, man, you rock that. Y'all, I got so many images. I'm like, ooh, what am I going to show next? It's so many good stories. He talked about Africa. I love this picture of you. What country were you in right here?
I was in Africa. I was in Rwanda, Kigali, Rwanda, you know, and they suffered through the genocide, and they're the most gracious people. You can see the gentleman back in the back. I found some material at a local shop, if you will, and took it to this guy and asked him, can he make me a jacket? He made that jacket, and everywhere I wear that one and several others, people are like, where'd you get that from? It's so beautiful. The craftsmanship is beautiful. The people are kind. And just like I was nervous going there too. I didn't know anything about Rwanda. You know, I just studied it, read a little bit, and had the opportunity to go. And I did one of the best trips of my life. They call Kigali, Rwanda, the Singapore of Africa. It's clean. It's beautiful. Palm tree lined streets. We don't see images like that. You know, we don't know what to expect. I didn't know what to expect. I was very, very pleased.
That's beautiful. You know, I actually talked with some brothers from Rwanda this week, and it's just nice to connect with people of these places because they are a reflection of the environment. I don't know if it's Rwanda, but one of the countries don't even allow plastic bags. Like you can't even, they're not playing with you. Ain't gonna be no litter, America, and the things that we are used to. You talked a little bit about this image as well, being in Africa. Tell me about that.
Yes, I was in Seychelles, Africa, and that was a dream for me to go. And I went, and I think the one thing you find when you go to these places is that people are people.
Yeah.
Everywhere. I was so curious about people. If I had to do it all over, I thought I would study anthropology, which is the love of mankind. You know, I've always been curious about what makes people tick, what makes them excited, what makes them feel, what do they want? And it seems like love, from my summation, love, to be seen, to be heard, and community is what people want. And that's the common denominator that I found in all of these countries, regardless of the language they speak. And one other quick thing I'll say is, in my travels, you mentioned how the lady last week, she mentioned how going to these places is like appreciating God and what he created. And for me and my faith, I believe it's a form of praise. You praise God for what he's done, and you worship him for who he is. And I used to say I worshiped, I feel like traveling is a form of worship. But honestly, I learned recently from my good friend Rhonda that honestly, and it's changed my perspective, that it's a form of praise. When you go and you see what he created, you're like, wow, God, you are magnificent. You created all these palm trees and these mountains, and the people are kind and the food is good. And even if I don't have the best experience here, you got me through it. And so there's still an opportunity to praise him for what he has done, even if it's not the best experience. And that could happen even if you're at home. You can be at home and have a bad experience, but he still brought you through it.
Yeah.
Somebody say amen.
Amen. You already know. I have so many little segues I could go to right now, but to finish off an earlier thought, I had asked you what your best experience was and your favorite countries. What didn't you like? Which countries you would feel like, I'm just curious about which one didn't make that much of an impact on you, or you felt like, okay, no, I don't, for whatever the reasons.
Yeah, it's really hard to say. I mean, like I got stung by a scorpion in Costa Rica one time, and so that was like, do I like this place? But it wasn't the place. It was an experience that happened. Outside of that, it was beautiful. Sometimes we go places and we have an experience, and it might not even be the country. It might be a restaurant or a person or an individual or a bad meal that colors your experience. You can go to, that could be with anything. I think we paint with a broad brush sometimes, and we say people over there are. We paint everybody a certain way because you have one experience with one person. Somebody might have an experience with a Black person and say Black people are, but we know we are not a monolith. We're not monolithic. And so it's unfair, I think, to say I don't like a whole country because I had one experience at one place. So it's challenging for me to say what place I don't like, because I think it's up to us to create whatever. I bring joy with me wherever I go.
Nice.
And so I'm the difference. And if we each are responsible for our experience, I think we'll find that life can be completely different and better and more juicy and more delicious and more wonderful, depending on what we're bringing to the table. It might be you. So if you have a bad experience everywhere you go, it's not everywhere you go is you. Perhaps. And so we can work. And that doesn't mean that some places are not a place I don't want to go back to. It just means that there's so much more out there for me to explore and experience. I'd rather go somewhere else.
Got you. Love it. Hey, y'all heard that, right? So think about that as you are traveling. We're going to take a quick commercial break. But when we come back, we got some more lovely stories and footage of your travels. But y'all don't go nowhere. We'll be right back after these messages. So stay tuned. Great day. It's your girl, Asadah, here to introduce a new female solution show called Asadah Says. That's right. Every month, we're going to talk about everything I am, from cryptocurrency and financial security to good health and parenting strategies. Come on and talk with me every Tuesday morning from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. And let's do that thing the way Asadah says it should be done. See you then. Peace, right here on The Female Solution.
What if you could have bought $1 of Bitcoin in 2009 when it was worth less than $0.01, just a fraction of a penny? That means $1 could have bought you over 1,000 Bitcoin. Fast forward to March 2026. With Bitcoin trading around $70,000 to $80,000, that same $1 could have grown to tens of millions. Now imagine discovering Amazon in 1997, Apple in 1980, or Facebook in 2004, right at the beginning, before the world caught on. History shows us those who recognize change early and take time to understand it are often the ones best positioned for the future. What if the next big shift is already happening right now, and most people still don't see it? Welcome to Breaking Free. Breaking Free is more than a book. It's a movement. Do you know money is changing? Do you know what digital money is? What crypto is? For just $5.99, you receive the Breaking Free ebook and audiobook. And right now, Breaking Free also gifts you crypto for free, giving you access to unlock the app, training, a reward payment system, and more. Inside members receive access to learning resources like AI, crypto, wellness, and practical tools to help you learn, grow, and move forward with confidence. Help educate, motivate, and elevate others while earning crypto rewards. No middleman, no delayed payments, no centralized control. Just automated crypto rewards. Just by helping 2 people break free with us, our community grows and more opportunities can open for everyone. If you're ready to learn, and if you want to understand where money is heading, Breaking Free could be exactly what you've been looking for. Speak to the person who sent you this video and book a presentation to learn more. We'll see you on the other side of Breaking Free.
That's right, y'all. Break free with me, baby. To me, that's what this whole day is about, this whole interview with Anthony Turner. Y'all see my number at the bottom. You want to break free? They call me the crypto queen, or they call me the Harriet Tubman of crypto. Good. Who cares? I like to make sure we know what's going on when it's regarding just our financial stability as a people. But anyway, let's continue on talking to my homie. I'm going to bring them back. What up?
What's going on?
Yeah, I'm just having fun with you, man. I'm loving to hear about these different travels. Like I said earlier, I think it's interesting when you talk about Black men. There's a lot of strife people be talking about and all kind of stuff. And I love when there's not. Like we got brothers out there that ain't their story. Ain't no strife and this and that. It's not to say we don't have hardships, but your focus is different. Like you just said, I bring joy to wherever I go. And so that to me is a strong point for our viewers. Yo, it is your choice. It is your perception. How do you view this particular thing? Like the girl, sister said, Naima earlier, people think, Chicago, riddled with crime. I live in Chicago too. You do too. But do we see crime? I don't see it like that. I know it happened, but I'm from New York too. You can't tell me. You there right now. So you can't tell me, people say a lot of stuff about New York and you can or feel it or not, but each time is different. And so I want to kind of get into some of these other images of you. I'm going to share this, y'all, because I just love it so. But you're going to see some more of his travels. and he wrote this song too. Baby, watch this, y'all.
You've got this. You can't lose with the stuff you use. La 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 la. La manini. You have everything you need. You were created for this. Created for this. Listen to the whispers. Inhale, exhale. You've got this. Yeah, you've got this. Nobody can do it like you can do it. Nobody can do it. Nobody, no, nobody can do it like you can do it. You are the beginning and the end. You begin. You beginning. You are the you are the beginning and the end of the phenomena called you. Phenomena. Phenomenal. The best is yet to come.
Don't y'all play with me. Let me put his website at the bottom. Y'all want to get some of that loveliness. He got a website. He is art. Y'all feel me? Anthony Art Turner. He is art. Don't you play. He does the writing. Okay. So talk to us a little bit and a lot of bit about all the places we saw in that video. And there was so much. I mean, you know, the music just, ooh, get it. But yeah, what are some of those images we saw in that video of you?
There's a waterfall image of me in Bali on a swing in Bali, floating like a genie in Bali. That was it's a year and a half or 2 years, almost 2 years ago now. I was there and took a lot of pictures. I was also in Thailand and in Kenya and in all over in those images. And sometimes, you know, for me, as it relates to the music, I write just kind of like I encourage everyone else to do, is write down what you want. Like, speak those things that are not as though they were.
Okay.
Or speak what you seek until you see what you said. And so sometimes I have to encourage myself. So I have to remind myself that I'm the beginning and the end of the phenomena called me. You know, I could write, I could create, I can go. And so I wrote the song because I was having a moment. You know, I'm human. We all have moments. Even though joy is my compass and I always find my way back, the reason I can find my way back to joy is because sometimes I have valley moments and valley experiences, and I need to hear certain language, certain words. And if I don't find it out there, I create it myself. So those images remind me that it's possible, you know, of me being there. Because sometimes it feels like a dream. When I'm looking at those images, I'm like, whoa, wow, that's cool. I'm glad I took that picture, you know. And I started taking pictures of my experiences because one of my favorite jobs working while I worked in sales and marketing, medicine adjacent, I worked in pharmaceutical sales and hospice. Hospice was one of my favorite jobs. You know, these are people at the end of their life, right? And I got to visit with a lot of them and talk to them and ask them about, you know, what they think I should do, or what are their best experiences, or what are things they wish they knew earlier. And they said, you know, and I looked around and noticed what I saw in all of these people's homes. And there were three things that I noticed. It didn't matter if they were on welfare or if they were millionaires. And I had the full gamut. They had music. They had lots of pictures. And they had a few articles of clothing. Now, some of them lived in a big old mansion and had Jags and other kind of cars outside, but they were confined to one room or maybe two because they couldn't get around as much. Maybe they were in their living room, and didn't matter how big the house was. They were in one space surrounded by photos. They had some music playing or accessible to them, and they had a few articles of clothing. So it kind of, at 30, when I was working there, it flattened my bell curve because that's when most people are starting to collect and build and buy. I stopped collecting and tried to create experiences for myself. That changed my life. And I started taking more and more pictures so I could reflect on what I did and remember these experiences. And of course, I was already writing music. So I either listen to it or write my own music to correspond to what I needed in my heart and in my soul to encourage me to the next moment.
Nice. I love that. You know, I have some more pictures of things that you've shared with me that you learned from. I love this. Talk about this image and what you learned.
My brother and I went to Tanzania and we went hiking. We were outside of this area with a coffee farm. And I looked on Travel Something and found some tour. I can't remember what site I used back then. And this guy said, this leaf, he said, if you have malaria, we know where to go in the forest to find what we need for healing. And this particular leaf, he said, you could break the stem of the leaf and suck the milk, he said, and it will heal you from the malaria. He said, and right now, I forget what it's called, but it's the same medication they use here in the States. They take all the natural resources and bottle it up and sell it back to us, but it's there in nature for free. But these gentlemen were so kind and so thoughtful and very well educated. They knew their land.
Nice. I love that because we don't hear none of those stories, but like you said, it's such a wealth of everything when you go to Africa, and it is rich, and you do have all of these experiences. I love watching you here. This was one of your, I'm taking us around the country, y'all, around the continent rather, so you can get a feel. This obviously you were in Egypt as well. This was during your Egypt trip, or no?
This was in Dubai. Yeah.
Dubai. Okay, gotcha.
Yep. That particular experience was in Dubai. My first time there, and we had a group of us, and we wore the garb and the head wrap and everything.
Come on, look, sisters, watch this. Woo-wee! Get them, baby. Get them. Look at this is in Dubai also as well.
Right outside Dubai, yeah.
Gotcha.
That was, I forgot the name of the country. What's right outside Dubai? I forget the name of the place, but right outside Dubai, 45 minutes. That's another city.
Now, environment. Where in the world is this gorgeous water experience? Where were you here?
That's Africa.
Love it. Lord,
that's Seychelles, Africa.
Y'all see, right, with your own eyes.
And now, Seychelles is its own country, but it's comprised of many, many islands. And so I think this is called La Digue, I think La Digue. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But this is one of the islands in Africa.
And where's Seychelles close to?
It's East Africa. So
Eastern, okay.
Yeah. It's off the coast. It's in the water, yeah.
Got you. You guys, look, let's take it over to South America a little bit. Boo, boo, boo.
Brazil.
How old were you here?
Oh, goodness. That's a good question. How old was I? Or what year was it?
I mean, you're looking like a young little.
Oh, I just shaved. That's me right now if I shave all this gray.
That's cool.
How old was I? Probably like 40.
Got you. Oh, you're way younger than that. Look at that. I thought you was a little kid up in there going to Brazil.
Like 39 or 40.
Okay, cool. And what did you find there? Like what stuck out for you?
In Brazil? In Rio de Janeiro?
Yeah.
I found culture. I found people that looked like me. They came up to me speaking Portuguese. Any one of us could be Portuguese or Brazilian. And Rio de Janeiro is what they call it. Rio de Janeiro. Yeah. Rio de Janeiro is beautiful. The food, the art, the colors, the afros, the blue eyes, the straight hair, and their black skin and white skin, and everybody on the beach and dancing and eating beautiful cheese with honey on the beach. I had an amazing time in Copacabana and all around Brazil. Bahia, I've gone to Bahia, and I've stayed. I lived in Brazil. That's where, when the pandemic started, I was in Brazil. I was there for like a month and a half in the forest, though, hiking, where they have all these waterfalls. And so I love Brazil. It's it's a beautiful country. Nice.
And then here, I thought this was beautiful. Where are you here?
That's in Dubai. That is in Dubai. That's at a flower, like a botanic garden. My mom loved flowers growing up.
Okay.
She had gardens and all that kind of stuff. And so when I can, wherever I can, if it's worth it, I always ask, I'll go to the botanic gardens.
Got you. So let me just, y'all, I have so many images. Let me move them off of us so we can see ourselves. How about that? So I guess I want to, because you still are moving and grooving when it comes to going around the world. And one of the things I love, you and I told you about this word insouciance, and insouciance is you guys just kind of like carefreeness, not serious, playful almost. And that to me, you have a very insouciant take on travel. Like you will get up and just be like, oh, I'm going to so-and-so today. Oh, I'm going to this country today. Like it's not even a thing where people travel around the world and they got to do a big prep. My suitcase, My passport, like, So talk about that at this stage, because you've been traveling so long. What is that like in your mind when you? I know you said you have a little anxiety sometime, but just that sort of, I must go here today. What is that like? How are you like that? Just, I'm going to this country today. Well, how do you just do that without this massive preparation beforehand?
Um, well, if I do something like that, there is usually something that's driving me there, like a music event or a
Okay.
festival or a family friend or an associate
Okay.
or some sort of invitation, some sort of calling. Maybe
Gotcha.
I want to get a meal, like friends of mine will get on the plane and go eat,
Okay.
whether that's in the States, New Orleans, or real quick to Paris. I think what that is the reminder that time is finite, life is short, and tomorrow is not promised.
Okay.
I have a friend right now who I'm praying for. Her name is Raven, and if you all would do pray or send good energy, she was in Colombia, and yesterday they had an earthquake.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she lived, but she was scared for her life. I mean, but that could happen right in Chicago. That could happen
Mm.
anywhere you are. But the idea is that you live anyway. You move and go and be and experience and do. The ground can shake anywhere we are, and being at home or being somewhere familiar it offers some comfort, but it doesn't protect you from life experiences. And in
Mm.
fact, your life experiences make it more richer. you
Mm.
know this is not our practice life. This is not a dress rehearsal. We
Mm.
don't get to do it again. So squeeze every drop out of the lemon, out of the lime. Talk to somebody new. Go down a different street, a different pathway. We grow and learn, and our character builds when we try new and different things. So I
Mhm.
know everyone is not meant to travel across the seas and out of state, and some people don't have a desire for that, and that's okay. But I'll take pictures and I'll tell you stories and I'll bring souvenirs and show you these things, because it reminds us that at the end of the day, we are all human,
Yeah.
trying our best every single day to make life work. And the way life works for me is by having new and different experiences. And that's what drives me and makes me write more music, because I remember that God is
Mm.
everywhere. He is
Nice.
just how he is and who he is everywhere. And I see that reflection everywhere I go.
I want you to share the story that you told me last night about you and your friend, because I need people to understand that there are people in the world like this man that are us, that travel, that ba da da. But I love the serendipity of everything that happened. Talk a little bit about those instances, because they're great to hear.
Okay, well, I'm at her place right now, staying here in Brooklyn. Well, my friend Tiffany is her name. I On that trip to Chiang Mai, Thailand, when I told you all I ended up moving there. After the tour was over in Bangkok, I went back to Chiang Mai, Thailand, and while I was there, I met all these other Black people who were traveling from around the world, not just Black Americans, but Black people from Africa, from all the diaspora, all over the world, Europe and all kinds of places. Well, there was this one girl I was sitting next to. Her name is Tiffany, and Tiffany and I became friends. And she, we kept in contact over the years. And she told me if I ever come to New York, just look her up. And I told her, well, you ever come to Chicago, look me up. And she said, well, I have a couple places in Chicago. I said, well, what do you mean? She says, I have a building and a condo in Chicago. So I was like, cool. Well, let me know when you're in Chicago. So we connected in Chicago, and then I was hosting tours around the world. And so I was hosting a tour in Croatia on a mega yacht. And I posted on Facebook, which is so cool. I posted on Facebook that I'm in Croatia. I get an inbox message from this girl, Tiffany, saying, wait a minute, are you in Split right now? And I said, yeah, I'm in Split, Croatia. She said, me too. I'm here for a music conference. Let's get up. So we connected. We had dinner, and it was fantastic. She came back on the boat. I introduced her to Claire and the rest of the crew. We had a great time, and she went on about her way. I went on about my way. She came to Chicago, stayed at my place. Then I went to Uganda, gorilla trekking. And I'm in Uganda, and I posted on Facebook that I'm in Uganda. And I get a message, an inbox. are you in Uganda? I said, yeah. She said, what are you doing here? I said, I'm going gorilla trekking. She said, me too. I'm here right now. I said, where are you in Uganda? And come to find out, we were going gorilla trekking on the same day, unbeknownst to either of us. And we were in different camps. We stayed in different hotels, but we were going on the same day with the same organization. And so we worked out that we were able to go gorilla trekking in Uganda together. And then I went back to the main city and we partied and hung out there too. And so when she comes to Chicago, if I'm not there, she could stay at my place. And she offered me this place in Brooklyn where I am right now at her place while she's in Jamaica building her new apartment. She has land in all over the world, Belize and other places. And so it's really beautiful when you meet people who are also world travelers. You find that we have more in common than different, than we don't. And we inspire one another, because I would love to have some land around the world too. So proud of Tiffany. And yeah, grateful that I love these serendipitous moments. Another gentleman I met in Kenya, he was a pilot. And this is when Uber first came out. And if you refer somebody, then you get a free trip. We were in Kenya. I saw this black guy next to me. I was like, hey man, have you heard of Uber? First of all, what you doing here? And he's like, I'm a pilot. I'm with my coworkers. We just flew down to bring some cargo. I said, oh, and he had an accent. I said, where are you from? He said, I'm Germany. So I gave him the Uber coupon and he used it and it gave me Uber credit. So one day I'm in Bali and Seminyak partying with my friends, and I put it on Facebook that I'm in Seminyak. I get a message from him saying, are you in Bali right now? I said, yeah. He said, me too. And we got together and we hung out. And I went to his place in Mallorca last year and stayed for a week. He's come to Chicago and we hung out. It's really beautiful when you build community, which is what I'm coming back to, wherever you are with whatever interests you have, because your life and your experience can be so much richer as a result. And that means, yeah. So I love those stories. Yeah,
I love those. I said, you're going to share them on my show. So Deborah said, yes, I can live and travel vicariously through you. Thank you. I want to say we only got about 3 minutes or so, 4 minutes, but you attract what you are, y'all, period. And I think that when we look at you, you do have a decision on how far you're going to reach or what you're going to attract, how big that is. Because if you don't leave the south side of Chicago, that's your choice. But the things you will attract will only be that far out. Versus here you are around the world, on other continents. And what? You got people right there talking about, where you at? Where you at? And but that's because your reach is that far. Like, that's not a small thing. And I really want you all to take notice to that, because we can all be that. We can all do that. We don't have to be stuck in the little space that we're in, but can you reach to other countries? Like, I don't hear any barriers in what you do. You feel me? You're making it, you're doing it. Go ahead. What you got to say? You're giving thought, going like this. What you think?
I would say, and at any given moment with whatever's going on in your life, good or bad, you have the authority and you are empowered to say, enough of that. I want something different. And you can literally choose something different and start acting and moving and living and speaking and being somebody and something different. You're not stuck with anything. We get to create. God is in us. We get to create whatever we want at any moment. Right now, you can say, I'm done with that. If it's drama, trauma, craziness, whatever it looks like, I'm done. And I'm moving somewhere else. And you start living that, and you start attracting that other energy towards you.
That's right. That's right. Period. All energy, y'all, all electricity, all we're programming all the things that are around us, like you said, good or bad, right? So my thing is focus on that good, baby, because then it will start to manifest, because you're conjuring it up. Like, you're making it up. You're making it a thing. Everything we are right now and looking around us, somebody invented. It was an idea first, but then they had to bring it to fruition. So, man, we got maybe 2 more minutes to go. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to show that you all haven't seen. There's so many things here. I love this picture of you. Where was this? Because this right here is the essence of your whole vibe. Where was this?
This is outside of a slave castle. And I was looking out into the water where the slave ships took off. And this was a pivotal moment for me. And so, I took this picture because it's the shadows of yesteryear. you know, and I see the palm trees, which look so beautiful, and the sky is so beautiful, but there is some darkness that happened. But there's also hope on the horizon.
Y'all see how he made that for you? He gave that energy, baby. He said, look, and which slave mansion was that? Because you could go to, they got it in Dakar, they got it in Ghana. Do you remember which one you are?
I was right outside in Ghana. That was I was in Ghana. Outside
okay.
of city.
So I just want to say, thank you for coming on here today, because again, it's a rarity to me especially Black men, baby, that are free. My grandfather was like that. When I look at my grandfather's images, he was in Switzerland in the Alps. He was like all over the world. He was in the military. He was one of the first Black Republicans. But so I don't know men like him, but you guys exist. And I think you're a great model for us to see. You can make some different choices. You were not born with a silver spoon in your mouth, was you?
I was not. My mama cleaned floors.
You feel me?
My mama cleaned floors. And I went with her. I think exposure is key, because I went with her to work and I saw what these people lived like, and I knew that there was more. I knew that there was more on the other side. So exposure is key. Exposure shows you what is possible. So look at something, read something, pick up a book, dream something, and you know what's possible, and you are a child of God. So you can do it. You can have access to it. At any moment, you can say, enough of this. I want something different.
I love it. I love it. Look at that. Boom, bam. Thank you so much for being here with us today, Tony Thailand. Yeah, that's what I call him. Y'all call him that. I don't care, but Tony Thailand. Thank you so much for being here today and for sharing your experiences, allowing us to live vicariously through you. And we'll be back, my darling.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. You guys, be here next Tuesday for another episode of Asadah Says. Looking at Get It, Black Travelers. Take peace today, y'all. Have a good one.
We've come to the end of our show today. If you missed any broadcasts, go to our website for the audio and video archives at www.thefemalesolution.com. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussions. And to our global family joining us from all around the world, we say thank you. To our family in China, xie xie. India, zhanyavad. Japan, arigato. Korea, kamsamnida. Russia, spasiba. Germany, danke. Poland, dziękuję. France, merci. Spain, gracias. Italy, grazie. Egypt, shukran. Ghana, madasi. Nigeria, eshe. South Africa, ngiyabonga. Senegal, jareh. Kenya, asante. Israel, toda. Pakistan, shukriya. Afghanistan, tashakur. Saudi Arabia and Palestine, shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Thank you, and may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings.